All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Sober Yoga Girl. I am coming at you today from Bali, and we have our Sober Curious Yoga panel with us. So actually, this is the first time I'm recording the panel not in Abu Dhabi, but we have someone in Abu Dhabi to still represent Abu Dhabi. So we have Matt and Jules in the UK and Lee in the States, and we're welcoming our new Sober Curious Yoga panelist, Emma, who you might know. She's another mindful life practice teacher, and she joins us from Abu Dhabi. So welcome, Emma.
Thank you very much. I'm very, very honoured and excited to be invited to join this panel and this chat. My name is Emma. I am a school principal, a mother of 3 teenage boys who are now no longer teenagers, but there's not a phrase for 20s and teens. So I have been sober for nearly 3 years now. So it's 3 years. 31st December 2018, New Year's Eve was the last time I drank alcohol. And my motivation, I'm sure we'll unpack a lot in these podcasts, was my family. And it was a New Year's Eve incident that scared me sober with my boys. ... ellipses, teaser. But it worked, and I haven't drunk since, and it's been a whole new life for me.
How many days or years of sobriety is there in total, do you think, between all of us? That's what we should add up. By the end of this podcast, we should have a number.
Yeah.
We'll work on it.
I'm not great at maths.
I'm going to be around 1,000 days in this holiday season, actually. Okay. And I only know that because we celebrated Emma's 1,000 days, the yoga retreat we had in September. And I knew that Emma was about 90 days ahead of me because Emma is actually my first sober friend ever. And we can save that for another. We'll have to have you on a podcast episode where we tell that story, Emma. Okay. But she's the first sober friend that I made off of social media in real life, which is super cool. And I knew that she was about 100 days ahead of me. So anyway, that's a total tangent.
Which at the time seemed like a lifetime, didn't it? I was just like, it's going to be great. Honestly, it's going to be fine.
I think there's about 11 years of sobriety I'm going for. I think we're close to 4,000 days.
Yeah.
I just hit my
done a rough thing.
I was 700 a couple of days ago, and I'm coming up to my 2 years. Yeah.
That's what I worked out, and I think we're 4,000 days. There you go.
Oh, yeah, I'm about a year and a half.
Yeah.
A little over a year and a half.
And imagine 15 years or whatever. That's amazing. Imagine how much more productive and kinder and better human beings we've been to all of our friends and family. Everyone's benefited. 15 years. Wow.
Yeah. So let's get into our topic today, which we have come together because we want to chat a little bit about sober holidays, which is what we would call them in North America. The sober festive season, which is what they might call it in the UK. I'm wondering if everyone can share a little bit about their first sober holiday experience.
I'll say something first. Mine was probably, because the one I always think of is Christmas, and that's coming up. And usually December starts and you just get into it. I would be going down the pub every day after work because you can do. So last year was the first year, but last year wasn't ordinary because the pubs were closed in the UK, or a lot of them were, where I live. But even so, I would be having a drink at home. Everything's on a big wind down. And last year was the first time that didn't happen. So it was so calm. It was so much calmer. And the actual, in terms of Christmas, the Christmas day itself was so different. Normally I'd be itching to open up champagne at midday. That's the sort of time I'd allow myself. And then it would just kick off through the day. So all that was different. And just an overwhelming sense of calm and enjoyment of opening presents. All that sort of stuff for me was just quite revelatory, you know, it was just so new. And yeah, I would have been asleep sort of by 6 or 7, then wake up feeling really groggy and probably try and drink some more red wine. Just, you know, all that behavior was gone. And it was just, and it's been the same at other times like Easter and things like that and going on, you know, whatever. But Christmas is the one I really think of.
I can go. So yeah, as I gave up drinking New Year's Eve 2018. So my first Christmas was pre-COVID. It was the full. Everyone was in the full swing of Christmas festivities starting late November. You know, when, I can't remember when it is, maybe 3-6 months into sobriety, you get that sort of those butterfly feelings of excitement, and you feel like a kid. I felt like a kid at Christmas, and because it was Christmas, but just it was so, I was giddy with excitement about doing everything that I normally did, but with so much more energy. And what you said, Matt, about being tired, alcohol just makes me sleepy. It makes my eyes itchy. It was challenging for me to, like, the first time you disassociate those, like that red wine or mulled wine, and you put some Christmas tree up, or champagne or Baileys, all of those very Christmassy associated, well-marketed drinks. What really helped me was some nice non-alcoholic alternatives, a beautiful glass. As long as I've got a beautiful glass filled with something fizzy or with ice and garnishes, I'm fine, as long as I don't feel I'm missing out. And that sort of helped me get through that sort of awkwardness. But no, just if I look back, just the energy I had for the holiday season with my family, it was.
I can go. We had our first holiday season, festive season, was with my family. My son wasn't there, but we went skiing last year. It was the first time that we had Christmas together for me as being sober. And it was great to have that activity, although it rained the whole day of Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Luckily, we had several days after that to ski, and they had a lot of snowmaking ability, so we were able to still ski. But having that activity to do as a family was really fun. So I was really looking forward to that. I had a lot of gratitude for waking up not being hungover on Christmas morning for the first time and feeling pretty crappy going into the day and fuzzy and not having that mental clarity. I was really thankful for that. I do remember having a few moments of everybody making their special cocktail or whatever. And I made sure when we were going shopping before the time together to buy myself some non-alcoholic options. And I wasn't real thrilled with what they had available. So it was like the thing I got was some kind of a really super sweet thing, which I didn't care for so much, but at least I had something nice to put in a glass. And I did have some non-alcoholic beer, I think. I'm pretty sure I had that. I don't really remember, but I definitely enjoy feeling present with my kids and being able to enjoy the time with them playing games. We played a lot of games, did some puzzles. There's so many other options to do besides drinking. But when I was drinking, I focused all my activities and thoughts around drinking instead of doing fun things together. And my idea of fun was before, what cocktails are we having? And that was the fun thing. And really just sitting and drinking a drink isn't doing anything. You're just sitting and drinking, where now it was like finding activities to do together. So that was really a change for me.
I had an actual sober Christmas. It was about 5 years ago, which was my first one. And I'd broken up with my ex-husband, and I decided to have Christmas on my own. And then realised that I might go a bit mental if I do that. So then I went on a retreat. And it was the first time that I'd ever done something like that for myself, sort of over the Christmas time. And for me, what I really found, so even though I wasn't completely alcohol free at the time, when I went on retreat, it gave me some headspace, and it started to make me realise that I can own my own Christmas and I can make it my own. And I have quite sort of a challenging feelings around Christmas. I think it can bring up quite a lot of strong emotions, good ones and bad ones. And at that time I was holding a lot of heavy emotions. And for me, choosing to go on a retreat, I now look back and just realise I think that was really brave. People have this perception that you have to do certain things at Christmas, and you have to see these people, and you have to eat this food, and you have to tick all these boxes, and then you're a normal person. And I don't tend to follow the normal conventions. So yeah, going on retreat for me made me realise that I have the courage to do what I want and how I want to do it, and choosing to be on my own. And I spent the whole day in silence, which was beautiful and really difficult. But it really changed my way of thinking how I want to spend holiday time and how I want to spend Christmas time. And then over the past couple of years on my Sober Curious journey, I've really changed how I view Christmas time now. And I've had another Christmas on my own as well a couple of years ago. And again, I just really enjoyed it. I just found, for me, it was like, this is what I want to do and this is how I want to do it, which I've really realised is part of my sober journey. This is mine and this is how I do it and this is what I want to do. And then last year we had Christmas, and I was very much on my sober journey then, and I just remember doing yoga with everyone, and that was just gorgeous. That was, for me, that was a real highlight of my Christmas holidays. I think there was, I don't know, maybe 20 of us all in different parts of the world, all sharing.
That was
yoga.
awesome.
It was so beautiful. I really valued that, having something that's really important to me, again, shaping my day. And we had some relatives around who I found quite challenging to be with and spend time with. And because I'd already done the things that I do to take care of myself, in previous times, if I was around people that I find stressful or difficult, I'd have got pissed and blacked out so that I didn't have to deal with them or numb. Whereas because I chose my day, it was like, I'm starting my day off with yoga. You do what you need to do. This is what I'm doing. It meant that my day, I was able to fill my cup in order to manage being around other people who drain my cup. But I know in the past when I've had difficulties with people, and especially around sort of family time and Christmas time, I've just got pissed and gone to sleep, so that I didn't have to deal with them. Whereas because I'd put a plan together and I was in community with people that I really value and respect, it meant that I had set up my day, and I just owned it. So for me, it's about owning my holidays.
Yeah, I agree with that, actually. So many things what you said, Jules, I totally relate to. I mean, what I would say is, from my Christmas day last year, it was everything minus the alcohol. But what I've realised is the amount of time was wasted because of the alcohol. Going to the pub the night before, getting up, forcing myself to get up with the kids because they want to get up early, and me feeling really hungover and terrible. Then the morning's kind of wasted, sort of, just not present at all. Whereas last year, it was a long day and it was fine. And I didn't fall asleep. Yeah, and I think I remember doing yoga on Christmas Day. I really remember doing it on Christmas Eve. And all my neighbours were outside on the street because you couldn't socialise inside. and they probably shouldn't have all been outside as well, but they were making a hell of a noise. And I was in here in this room doing yoga. And I remember it being so great because of that. They were all like, I think they thought I was a bit grumpy or something. Couldn't be further from the truth. You know, it's like you say, Jules, we people that you sort of love and learn to love and respect or whatever. And it was great. We've got to do that again. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I think
that.
Lee was saying about getting up in the morning, and Jules was saying about, the things that you're expected to do. I think being sober, you can start to craft new sort of traditions. So, for the past 2 years, maybe it's 2 years, because I've been up and excited like a really annoying child, and my boys are like so not getting up anytime soon. Me and my husband go to the beach and swim on Christmas morning, just on our own, and then we come back and cook a really lovely breakfast for the boys, and then drag them out of bed. And that's like a new tradition, and it's sort of you never stop evolving and changing, and but just being. It actually makes me quite anxious thinking about how rough I would feel, and pretending all the time that actually you felt okay, but you really, really didn't. You just actually used to go and hide.
I had it a couple of years ago where I'd got incredibly drunk. And it was actually the year that I decided to stop drinking. And then we had some relatives come down the next day, and I just lay on the floor. They just all around me, and I just went, I can't move, don't talk to me. And I had a weighted blanket, and I just went, I'm here, but I just need to lie on the floor. And that's when I decided to stop drinking. So I was just like, I can't do this, I'm 47.
And people probably thought it was funny.
Yes, I thought it was funny. I look at it now and just go, oh my God, that's awful. That's awful. But yeah, I thought it was funny. Everyone thought it was funny that I was lying on the floor as a grown-ass adult.
Oh my gosh.
I find that funny about all of us. So that, like, we've all known each other like over a year now, and and we know each other totally sane and sober. I find it really hard to imagine all of us like in holidays drinking and not being like this, and what that would be like. I can't imagine any of you being like that.
Messy.
It's so weird to think of it.
It was messy.
Yeah, that's so true. I was thinking about what you said, Emma, with letting go of expectations. And I know I used to get really, really uptight about having everything perfect. And I feel like one of the big things that I've done as part of sobriety is working on my own self-care and letting go of those things. And it's been a process for me, but I know through this last Thanksgiving, felt like it was really awesome that I was able to let go of a lot of those expectations for how things are supposed to be and go with the flow of how things were going along. And I don't think I would have been there and done that if I wasn't sober, but being able to let go of that, I was so much less uptight and anxious and irritable with the people that I love. And so I was able to be pleasant and enjoy them and not regret things that I said or did during the time that I was with them, snapping at people and being kind of nasty, I think.
Yeah. And I think because, when if you wake up and you're a bit hungover, you're sort of, I'd go into autopilot mode, like, this has got to be done and this has got to be done, and I've got to get the nut roast in, and we should have finished present opening now, and just because I wasn't comfortable and confident in my own skin, all I had to hold on to was, we will have a good Christmas because I've got everything under control. Whereas actually, when you like yourself a lot more, you can recognize what is really important, and it's the structure of the day isn't important. People being happy and doing what everyone wants to do together is really important.
I was thinking about that, the whole concept of yoga on the holidays. Actually, I So where that came from was in 2019. It was my first sober holiday, and the Christmas itself was hard for me, but on New Year's, I saw this event advertised that was yoga on New Year's. And it was this 90-minute thing with this live musician. And one of my best friends from high school came, and my mom came. And it was really funny because they didn't know that it was going to be hot yoga. I didn't think it was going to be hot yoga, but it was at a hot yoga studio. So like that seems obvious in hindsight now, but my friend from high school came in her sweatpants, and that was like really very funny. And my mom and my friend just couldn't stop laughing the whole time because it was just like way beyond kind of what they had sort of signed up for, but it was really funny. And in the end, you know, it was midnight. So it was from like 10:30 p.m. till midnight. And I remember just being like, wow, I would really love to plan something like this, but I just didn't think anyone would want to spend their holiday with me. You know, that's like a pretty big commitment to be like, I'm going to, you know, spend this day. And the following year, I think it originally started with just, okay, I'm going to do this New Year's thing. And then people were saying, you know, could you do something maybe on New Year's Eve or Christmas Day, Christmas Eve. And I realized that there's like actually this desire. Like I thought that everyone would be like, oh, this is such an important day that I just have to spend it with with my family or whatever. But there's actually this desire for us to be together with this kind of other family or this other community of people we love as well. And it was so beautiful. It was so amazing. So yeah, we'll definitely do it again. We'll have to find a time that works for everyone, because now that I've moved from Abu Dhabi, time zones change. But anyway, it was a really nice way to spend my second sober holidays for sure.
Yeah, I thought the goal setting and meditations, that you led a meditation on future self. It was around New Year's or New Year's Day or New Year's Eve. I can't remember which, but it was really meaningful. And I remember we had a sober circle around that time as well. And thinking about our intentions for the year was really meaningful to me. I still remember all of that. And sharing the meditation with my daughter and her boyfriend, they got a lot out of that as well. So when we're with family, we can introduce them to these things that we're doing that are part of our self-care and allow them to join us, and they can understand where we are right now.
Yeah, my sister and her husband did yoga on Christmas Day. That's the only time they've done yoga with the Mindful Life practice. So that was pretty special.
Nice. Yeah.
So was there anything in particular that anyone was nervous about around sober holidays, the first sober holiday?
Yeah, the socializing, going to parties and not being able to make small talk. You know, I can speak to my friends, I find it surprising, but sometimes I can't be bothered with small talk, and it, you know, is I can feel quite clumsy and awkward. But what I found that surprised me was that actually I'm much better at it sober, because I actually listen, and actually people just want to talk about themselves. You know, we'd have the initial introductions, and then I'd ask a question about something that they said, and then there's lots of interesting people. And I think possibly, you know, previously when I was, you know, socializing at Christmas, and you know, we'd go to similar friends, I'd maybe stick with my same crowd of people. Not that we've all been in big crowds recently, but I'm trying to remember that. But actually, I was a better guest, because I sort of worked the room a bit more, or just, you know, made sure that. I remember a particular party of a friend who always has her Christmas party, and she was a good friend of mine. You know, I felt that, not responsible, but I felt that I could help make sure that everyone had, you know, if there was somebody not talking to someone, I'd go up and check they had drinks and things, and it's like, yeah, so I think I was a more...
Can I go to your party, Emma? That sounds fun.
Oh, love you all to come to my party. We've got a pool table as well. Yeah, we always have a game of that's, yeah, I think the energy that I have sober makes me happier. It makes people around me happier, I think, or maybe a bit irritated sometimes. Just, you know, often when we were drinking, our pool table was, you know, my boys and my husband's and their friends' domain, and then sober, I have a really bad game of pool. I remember one of my sons actually explaining where to hit the ball on, and it revolutionized. Yeah, but I'm not a scientist. And I was like, I get it now. Okay, and it's just those beautiful moments that if I'd been, halfway through a bottle of prosecco, or sort of angrily washing up in the kitchen whilst finishing off a bottle of wine with red wine lips, like grumpy that everyone else is having fun and I'm stuck in the kitchen.
I haven't hosted like a party with friends. I've had the Thanksgiving dinner with my family, but I haven't hosted a party yet since I've been sober. Have any of you?
Yeah, I did. So I'm just trying to think. We did actually at my husband's birthday.
I was thinking if I probably would serve alcohol if I had.
Yeah, you'd have to, really, I guess. I mean, the last party I remember was New Year's Day 2019, so coming up to 2 years. And yeah, it was just full on drinking all day. And I think we're going to have a little party in the new year. Not straight away because everything's gone funny again because of COVID. But
yeah,
I think you kind of have to serve wine and stuff. I mean, one of the things that made me nervous actually around Christmas is that my wife Helen's parents always buy us loads of wine. They'll always send like a couple of boxes of wine, like 2 12-packs of wine. It's nice. It's been nice over the years, and we'll tuck into it. And once one of the boxes was gone before even Christmas Day. Last year, even though less people were coming, and even though there was a doubt whether they were going to come, 4 boxes of wine turned up at our house. 48 bottles, right? There's only me and my wife and her parents coming for dinner. And then they didn't even come. When the bottles arrived, I said to my mother-in-law, I said, I'm imagining some of that's alcohol-free wine. She said, oh, no, I didn't get any. You're still not drinking. So I was nervous that, all that wine there, I would be tempted by it. And I remember being nervous about it, but actually loads of it's still in the house because obviously my wife didn't drink it, or she doesn't drink that much, and I didn't have any of it. I remember that. But I think if I had a party and lots of people came, there is a little nervousness there about, when you're hosting a party, about having a drink yourself, maybe. But also, talking about things that surprised me also, that's our next thing to talk about. What surprised me was how much less stressed I was about cooking Christmas dinner. And actually this year I've made more roast dinners than I've ever made. It's because it's not as stressful as I thought it was. It's drinking while you're doing it that makes it stressful. So that really surprised me about Christmas Day, because it should be quite joyful preparing all the things, shouldn't it? And having fun doing it. But it's not, is it? It's unpleasant. It's an unpleasant thing. And, it became very, sort of regimented, and you're always chasing your tail. You're never on time, are you? And it's a bit of a stress. But not when you're sober, is it?
It puts the joy back into all of these little things that we're doing for our family and loved ones. And that, just because you're not knackered.
Yeah, it's the tiredness, isn't it? It's the energy that the massive energy that you get from not drinking and being present. Presence at Christmas talk about, but being present in yourself is just it surprised me how easy it was.
I think for me it was putting my plans in place. If I have a plan and a structure, then I'm fine. If I don't have a structure, I go doolally. And because I knew that I had the yoga in the morning and then I had certain things during the day to keep me going, I also had quite a few friends and quite a few sort of support networks to connect with, so that if I found anything sort of stressful or challenging, I could just WhatsApp or get on Facebook or whatever. But I think when I have a plan and when I also know what I'm going to drink, so I bought some really gorgeous, I think it's Three Spirits, which is a non-alcoholic drink, which is gorgeous. So I spent quite a lot of money on some very, very lovely alcohol-free drinks. I'm the same as you, Emma. I really like a nice glass. So I bought myself some really beautiful goblet glasses so that I felt like I was really treating myself. And we had calamari for breakfast, and I'd usually have like champagne or something like that. And I loved that we had calamari because it's like a proper posh kind of treat, and we had oysters. And so it's like I really thought about it for quite a few days ahead. What are those things that I now really cherish, and what are treats and what are nurturing? I booked myself a massage a couple of days before Christmas. So it's like I spent a while really thinking about what are the things that I really love. They might have nothing to do with Christmas. They might be not related at all. But what they are related to my self-care. I think Lee said that as well. It's like actually sort of realising that Christmas for me is about being kind to myself and being kind to others. And that might not look like a typical Christmas to other people, but I don't really care.
I think that's really nice. I think about the word indulgences and allowing ourselves some indulgences during the holidays and figuring out what are the things that you want to indulge in for yourself that are really beautiful, nice things that make you feel good, whether it's calamari or a special drink or a massage or
chocolate,
whatever it is, some good chocolates, a nap, whatever. But finding those things that really make you feel good, and for everybody, it's going to be different.
I'm off around Jules's because it sounds great at hers. I just realised how near I am really compared to you lot. Nice bit of calamari.
We've got calamari.
Did any of you find out how I like food? Food's always important to me. I'm a vegetarian. I've been vegetarian for many years, and so, but it was like the side act to the alcohol, and now food taking centre stage. Christmas dinner's delicious. I never used to eat half of it because you'd be so full and and half drunk and just put sick of this. Oh, I'm sick of the side. I've been cooking it all day, but actually, you don't have to cook it all day, and actually, it's really nice to share a delicious meal.
I love that food takes the center stage because that's totally become my thing too, my indulgence. And
it's nice having a nice drink, and I do get that about having a nice glass. But at the end of the day, when you're sober, you don't drink as much liquid. You don't need. So you're only talking about 3 or 4 drinks, aren't you?
Yeah.
Which is normal behaviour. It's not normal to just keep opening a bottle and just drinking it for 8 hours.
And even alcohol-free stuff, I can only have alcohol-free beers. I might have 2 maximum.
Maybe 3.
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, I did one night have over the course of an evening have a whole bottle of Prosecco to myself, and I woke up the next day with a bit of a sugar headache, which was I felt a bit displeased with. But yeah, that was unusual. Normally, I'd want to. But Prosecco is quite nice and tart. It's not too sweet, so it was. It's quite quaffable.
Matt, I was going to ask you about the Guinness. Did you find the holy grail of
I did.
alcohol-free? Where did you find it?
It is available, and that's something I will really enjoy at Christmas, or it's kind of a winter drink, I think, Guinness, and that's what I will look forward to. And I might have one after this podcast, actually, guys. I should have brought one with me.
I have to ask you about the Guinness. Is it in cans or in bottles, or? It's
in cans, and it's not it's not in the USA yet. If Guinness is listening to this, by the way, I'm very happy to be an ambassador for you. And I've sent messages about this.
You look like a glass of Guinness, actually, today.
I know. So
there was someone I was just talking to that was saying how the Guinness in the can, or any real Guinness in the can in Ireland, is really looked down on. The can itself is
the widget has revolutionised that.
Well, Lee, if you let me finish my advertisement for Guinness, I would like to say that it works very well in a can, and the way they've developed it, it tastes really good. And the can in the pub, they've created a special system to pour it from the can into a glass. And there is a way of pouring it from a can into a glass to get it really good. So
That's
good for
around
me
your
to
house,
know.
Matt.
Thank you.
I've got the
Used to go like that,
calamari.
I'll
You've got
bring the Guinness. You have
I've
the
got the
calamari.
You have to get the just right amount of head on it, right?
Yeah, you have. What you do is you pour it in. I mean, I'll go and do it now if anyone's interested. We'll do it after this. I'll show you. But you have to put it really deep into the glass. So don't pour it from a height. Pour it into the, yeah. So
And then pour
anyway,
it
Guinness, if you're
directly.
listening.
I need a demo.
I will do it.
I've got some ordered. My son's bringing some out for me. Hopefully, I've ordered it on Morrison's to be delivered to his house. So
they started selling it at my top shop. So in the UK, you know, you have your corner shops. We've got a well-known one, a Londis. They sell it at the top of the road now. They've even got a little alcohol-free section because
that's probably you.
That's you.
You've changed that.
I've changed them. Well, I didn't even tell them to do it, and they obviously sensed. I think they go and check the bins and then get stock in because of that. But Guinness isn't in the States yet. Guinness Zero.
No, I haven't seen it. But my new favorite, being from the States, my new favorite, and I'm super excited to be moving to the East Coast because Sam Adams in Boston has put out a new NA beer, and it's really good. It's my favorite.
Oh, I'd like to get
Sam Adams NA. I used to love what I could get around here. Mostly was Heineken 0.0, and I like that. But Sam Adams is way better. Love it. It's a little bit grapefruity. It's got that little bit of tang
darker,
to it.
Isn't it?
It's actually pretty light. It's almost like a hazy IPA or something. It's pretty good.
We're really lucky, though, the amount of choices that if you think only a couple of years ago, I remember when I first stopped drinking, there was nothing. I just drank lime and soda. And that
only O'Doul's.
Yeah, 7 years
When I was
ago,
pregnant, I remember there was only O'Doul's.
Nothing.
I was drinking an O'Doul's when I was pregnant in a restaurant or bar or something, and some woman really gave me a hard time about drinking. She thought I was drinking a real beer and that I was pregnant and drinking, and it was an NA beer, but anyway, she like reeled into me.
Oh, judgy people, my goodness.
Yes.
Honestly. Something else that surprised me was how relatively brilliant at charades I am sober. I was like, oh, me again. I'm up again. Oh, yeah. Everyone was getting really cross, and I was loving it because, they're saying their brains were just like walking through treacle, and so I was really irritatingly great at charades.
I was at a Thanksgiving dinner actually the week before last. No, it must have been. Yeah, it was the week before last. And our neighbour's American, and they always invite couples round. There was 10 of us there. And another friend of mine called Pete was there, and he's given up drinking. So it's really nice to be with another guy, another sober guy. I found it a really unusual situation. And, you know, by sort of 10:30, 11, like we were ready to go. And it's quite noticeable how witty you still can be, right? You know, you're still on it in terms of conversation. And we kind of know this, don't we? But it was really nice to share it with someone, and he got this like wine I'd never seen before, and it was really, really nice to sort of have someone like that. And I'm hoping that happens more and more over the years in the holiday sort of seasons, that you start to come across these people, special people like us.
And to be honest, another thing that surprised me was that when I was drinking, I thought everyone was drinking as much as me. And whilst a lot of my friends and peer group absolutely are and were, not everyone, I just didn't notice them.
Totally. Actually, I was surprised how many people actually don't drink that much, and how I was the lush of the group pretty much.
Mm-hmm. This was a lot of fun.
A lot of stuff.
Did you have one more thing to share, Matt?
No, I was just going to say that I imagine that all of us, we all probably think that we were the ones drinking the most, but maybe we weren't. Maybe everyone thought that they were all the ones. I don't know, because you wouldn't really know, would you? I genuinely think I did used to drink more than most people, but maybe not.
Yeah, no, I did. I definitely did. Yeah.
I mean,
And I'd be trying to push other people to drink as well. And if they weren't drinking, I was like, come on, drink.
alcohol pusher.
Yeah, I was an alcohol.
My nickname was Pusher by my husband. And
Was
even
it?
to my kids who were underage, I was pushing them to drink.
You know what we should
Proud
do?
moments,
'Cause
proud
obviously
mom
we're not-
moments.
Do you know what we should do? Obviously, we're not going to drink. We should find like video footage of us talking when we're drunk and send it to each other.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, at my 40th birthday party, I did a speech and I don't remember doing it. I do remember getting everyone's attention by doing a teach thing and going, high five. And then I don't remember it at all. And I'm going to get hold of that speech and send it to
I
you.
don't know if I have any.
I have a video that I made. This is the stupidest thing. I used to make videos at high school parties. Like I used to just like on my little like digital camera. And one of my friends, I got this video clip of her trying to convince us to come on the grad trip to Punta Cana, which she didn't end up coming on the trip, which is the funniest part. But in the video, she said, it's going to be awesome. We're going to be drunk 24/7, hammered all the time. And we thought this slogan was the funniest thing. And so I would go around at high school parties and convince people to say it either with me or I would like assemble people. I would like assemble a group of people to all shout it. And then I literally produced a video of like 40 clips of different people shouting this thing. It's so ridiculous. I bet I could find it. So
Do it.
Drunk 24/7, hammered all the time.
this is what I was known for, and that's why I have a Sober Yoga Girl podcast.
Sorry, it's the money we've saved.
Yes.
My goodness, like those extra bottles of wine you'd have out at dinner. Oh, another bottle, and then someone on the table would want another bottle, and just all of them. Wine here in the UAE is so expensive, like £50 for a very average bottle of wine.
Wow.
Nonsense. Like 250 dirhams, Alex. That's not unusual, is it, for a bottle of wine?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I thought I was quite a wine connoisseur and I wouldn't buy any wine less than $20 a bottle. And so I would go to the grocery store and buy a case at a time, always because you get a case discount. And then people would oftentimes comment on, oh, you're having a party. And I was thinking, no, it's just for me, like for this week, basically.
Do you know what? The funny thing is about talking about what it was like when we used to drink is it's like now we're sober, we're adults, but when we look back, it's like that was like being a kid.
Oh, yeah.
And sort of being so immature.
A really sad child.
Yeah.
I was really, and I really didn't know myself at all, or not as much as I do now, or I wasn't as honest with myself and other people. So I'm really, really grateful that I'm sober.
The end.
The end. Is there anything else anyone wants to share to feel complete?
I think the most important thing is plan. Put a plan together. Put contingency plans so that if anything goes a bit tits up, have a support network, whatever that is for you. So whether that's a therapist or a friend or a Facebook support group, but have people that you can just connect with, just so that if you have a bit of a wobbly time, especially if you're early on in your sobriety, Christmas is, I think it's really hard. I think it can be really, really hard and really testing. So I would really recommend putting a plan together, treating yourself in whatever ways you can, being really kind and compassionate to yourself, and giving yourself space to cry or to breathe or whatever you need to do just to support yourself. I think it can be very triggery, especially if you've got challenging situations with your families. So again, put those things in place that you know will take care of you, whether that's journaling or running. I've got quite a few friends who are runners, so that as soon as it got stressful at Christmas with family, they'd just run, and that was their thing. So whatever it is for you that allows you to be kind to yourself and compassionate to yourself, and don't be afraid to buck convention. You don't have to do what everyone else is doing. You know, other people are going to parties, you don't have to. You don't have to do what other people are doing. I think that for me is the biggest thing about sobriety, is that I am becoming more and more strong in self-advocating and what I want and how I live. And I think that Christmas, you know, you can make it your own. We've had Christmases where we've had a big Indian dinner feast, and some friends are having Christmas Mexican. It's like, make it your own. Who says we have to do it in a specific traditional, conventional way? You know, some friends go swimming in the sea, you know, spend Christmas with your dog, whatever works for you really, but make sure that you're doing what you need to take care of yourself. And believe in Father Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah, leave him milk, not sherry.
Yeah, and carrots.
Father Christmas is a lot healthier because of all the non-drinkers.
Yeah.
He's getting much less alcohol.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for another amazing panel episode. That was a lot of fun. I really appreciate you guys coming on, and looking forward to doing another one. If anyone listening has any topic ideas, any questions for us, send them our way, because we will definitely be coming back with more panel episodes in the future.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for being here, Emma. Bye.